I believe we are. Yeah, yeah, we are.
Oh, are we
We
live?
are live. Yep, yep. Mm-hmm. Uh, so if I don't know what my sound is like, so man. Um, but yeah. So if you notice my stream, if you look at that, it's a it's a GIF line. I'm using a a new thing.
Oh, that's actually really cool, then, man. That's
Yeah,
really good.
it's not that hard. I just put a GIF. Just free to
Nice.
use, by the way. I don't steal. I'm trying not to steal artwork. Um, but which is kind of funny. I use that for thumbnails, but
Mm,
I transform it. It has a different meaning.
yeah.
But anywho, God of War Ragnarok. Actually, what are your thoughts on it? Like basic thoughts.
Basically, I would say it's similar to from what 2018 was, but just the fact that I do highly enjoy where the story has gone. I love the fact that with the storyline they brought up Atreus or
Yeah.
Loki, whichever you want to call him, and how
Well,
he's a
as
little more
well as
mature.
well as you know, it's like uh Loki goes, but Atreus remains.
Right.
Yeah, boy. But I'm sorry to interrupt. I just that's kind of what I mean. It's like he's both. He's
Right.
taken he has both names depending on who he's talking to. So it's like
Exactly.
mm.
What? Cause, yeah, if he talks to
So no,
like,
sorry. Like go back to your basic thoughts because that might be covered later. So sorry.
hey, it's all right there, man. But just yeah, I would say again similar details to from the one in back 2018. A little more, I would say, a lot more maturity based factor on the fact of
Yes.
how Atreus has become. I love the
Mm-hmm.
details of him, and I mean it is. If you don't mind me adding to, you know,
No, no. Oh,
the
by the way, sorry to interrupt again,
mm,
but
mm.
uh, this is not spoiler free. This is full spoilers.
Exactly. No, if
So,
anybody doesn't want spoilers, leave. Don't listen in. Just
mhm.
go. You
Yeah.
can
So yeah,
play the
exactly.
game for yourself. Play the game for yourself. Experience it in your own manner. So this is
Anyways, go on.
yeah, but just know with going over it like with, with
Okay.
their interactions from everything with how Atreus has become from a young selfish little I'm a god type attitude to more
Hmm.
like to more of a feature of hey, I'm not just a god, but just because I'm a god doesn't mean I can do whatever I want. There are consequences. So
Yeah,
hang on.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say he doesn't. Another. Uh, you're probably what you're meaning to say is doesn't mean he should look down on others because that's also a part of it. Hello. Oh, I guess he left. So
Hey
oh,
dude, I didn't leave. I just
oh,
muted my mic
oh, I'm sorry.
because I have
I,
somebody who I've got somebody here and he wants to talk. So
nah, man. It's yeah. I mean, like if noises are in the background, that's what it is then. Because I also have people in the house. I
yeah, no,
apologize. Um.
no. For anybody who wants to know, that's my young nephew who alongside me has loved God of War, and he is
Hmm.
dying
Well,
someday to play Ragnarok when
so,
he gets the time to get past God of
sorry,
War
dude, but
2018.
you're sorry, dude, but yeah, it's gonna be that's it's just us, but or anyone else who wants to join, but who I'm sorry has more media comprehension, but the whole anyways I think we're trying to say is that like he doesn't want Kratos doesn't want Atreus to look down on others from 2018. Yeah,
Right.
and um uh he, it's kind of funny. It's this reminds me of the Tom Holland like Spider-Man thing where he does sort of the same mistakes over the years, but from a different point of view as he's growing up. Because
Yes.
just because you make similar mistakes doesn't mean you're not learning. It it just means that like this is a brand new thing, and he doesn't know how to handle it, so he needs to learn how to handle it like again through a different lens. And
Yeah.
if that makes any sort of sense,
Yeah. Yeah. No.
that's what
Yeah.
Atreus feels like to me throughout the
Yeah.
entire story.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Very much so. Because again, like in the very beginning of the game too, which is great, is it's go. It's like you're on the go because
Mm-hmm.
you have Freya hunting both Kratos
Oh,
and
oh,
Atreus down because
well,
of
we're gonna get into that soon. Sorry, no, no, I'm sorry, but like the whole basic um thoughts is like, yeah. So, I'll, I guess I'll go through my basic thoughts, and you can piggyback a little bit. I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm sorry, but uh, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
So I'm sorry if I did the thing, but but so when the game came out, um, I I I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I mean, here's the thing: I haven't played it, not a single minute. Um, but I watched Mauler's playthrough and Metal Commander's playthrough almost simultaneously because they are huge God of War fans, huge, and uh, and so I was afraid they were going to pull a Last of Us 2, where they just rip apart Joel's character, like Kratos' character, like Joel, and
Yeah.
have Ellie not get what she needs from the story. Like revenge is bad, lol. It's like okay, but no, this is not it. Um,
No, not
no,
in
this is
any
the
way.
opposite.
Not in any way. No, the
This,
way that they did this was amazing. I love the fact that again with how Atreus is taken responsibility for his actions of the years and has understood
mhm.
the burden of how decisions can have consequences.
Yeah. Which is by the way, that's not a spoiler. That's actually in the first like God of War, like 2018. I mean, I should say.
Right,
Um.
that was more towards the end though that Atreus became a
Oh
little more
yeah,
mature though.
he's like
So
yeah, and you can tell during the
yeah, in the very
how
opening of Ragnarok, you can tell how he has
oh
matured.
you can tell during the boulder fight
Yes,
at the end of God of War that he's that Kratos trusts him a lot more, like during that fight. It
very
is
much.
it's said through the actions of what he's doing and the combination of what you do to Boulder, like fires an arrow and then like Kratos hits him and then you press the buttons and all that stuff. It's like, oh man, this is sweet. Like this is what trusting each other looks like. It's like,
The QTEs, yeah,
yeah,
quick
yeah.
time events. Yep.
And
And there are plenty of them. There are plenty of them in Ragnarok.
yeah, yeah, we'll get to those because some of them you can't really mess up. It's just a tutorial really of what you can do. Like when you transform into the wolf, it'll just say, "Hey, you can do this now," and it will stay paused. Like so, that's not really a QTE. But anyways, so yeah, so looking into, it, I was like, oh man, I don't want to buy it unless I know it's of quality, and this is a good lesson for you people out there. Just because you're excited for a game doesn't mean you need to buy it day one. Like,
Precisely. Always
wait.
kind of give a game some time. Give it a month, give it a couple of weeks or whatever, but buying it day one, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times you can be heavily disappointed with how details or storyline can go.
Or
So
like,
just
what
because
if it's
a game,
bugged? What if it's like missing content?
yep,
And first impressions are everything. The only thing Ragnarok was missing was New Game Plus. That was it.
that there, yeah, that I suspect, but as well as New Game Plus didn't happen for 2018 for
Mm-hmm.
at least about I think what was it? I want correct me if I'm wrong there, Falco, but I think it was
Mm-mm.
at least a year before New Game Plus dropped on God of War 2018.
I don't remember, so I'll I'll
Neither
I'll
do
take
I.
it. I'll
Yeah,
I'll I'll take that. But I don't know if it's a year or if it's just like it took him like a month. I don't know
it wasn't a
because
month. I know that for a fact. It wasn't a month. It was at least
okay,
between 6 months to a year,
okay, that's fair.
somewhere around that.
No one can correct us, so we're right. So, but yeah. So like I said, like wait for reviews, wait for like have somebody you trust, to give you reviews, and then match it up for like with aggregate sites. They're useful for something. Always look at reviews of aggregate sites like IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, or like whatever, Metacritic, stuff like that. Um, but you can't even trust those sites because
Exactly.
for various reasons. But it doesn't mean, but it still lets you get a complete picture of what's going on. Uh,
Yeah.
but like I said, that's after the trusted resource, like multiple angles.
Yep.
So, um, so I was watching their playthrough, and I was like, there was so much to to absorb, but all of it is just 99%, like probably 90, I don't know, 96% of that story is phew, masterwork in in writing. Like it is superb. Like and so um highly recommend uh looking at it first before you buy it, even though I am recommending the game. Like it's still, it may not be for you. um don't don't pull a quantum TV and just believe the hype of everything and just buy something. But so yeah, would you recommend the game to Kevin?
Oh, highly, highly, yes. If you're a God of War fan, then yeah, I would definitely
Mm-hmm.
recommend
It doesn't.
for anybody that loves it. From even if you were a fan of the original God of War back from PS2,
Yeah,
which
boy.
started this whole franchise.
uh
If you're a fan of the original, I would honestly highly recommend that you pick up God of War Ragnarok. Get your experience in there. Go play from the
um
original from back in PS2 to the PSP versions
oh
to God
yeah,
of War 3.
that's the thing about this
Go pick
game.
them up.
It mentions every single game. it
It
he
does.
mentions his
It
brother
does.
Demos. He mentions how we went to the underworld and toppled like the giant pillar. Like,
Right.
it is insane how much they just love their franchise and love their fans.
Yes.
Like, it
Yes,
is.
exactly.
Okay, now the other side of the coin, which is like people say that this writing is Marvel quality. That is an unleveled criticism. It is so
I would
dumb.
agree.
Because one thing, what is Marvel, like? What is Marvel comedy or Marvel writing? What does that mean? Which phase you talking about? You
Right.
you're oh, okay. You're a bit silenced over there.
Oh, am I? Oh,
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's fine though. It's fine now. But so and they say like well, I think what they mean by Marvel writing in general is that it's oh, I hear myself echoing in your mic, Kevin.
Weird. My headset's not picking up anything, so
Is it
it
me?
it, it might be you.
Uh, I don't know how that
'Cause I'm
is.
not. I
Hello?
I don't know, man.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Um, is my
What?
is my headset not connected to anything?
I don't know. I still hear you fine.
Lies, lies and slander. Oh yeah, it is. It's USB audio device. Hello? Oh no no. Oh no. We can't have that.
Ooh.
Oh no. We're having technical difficulties. I think I'm fine now.
Okay.
Maybe it just needed
Yeah,
a reset.
continue. Could be.
Sorry about
Or
that.
updates.
AIDS. No, anyways. But but so yeah, let's see. I was talking about how oh yeah, Marvel writing or Marvel comedy. So sort of
Mhm.
criticism. And so yeah, I say and a lot, so bear with me. The whole thing of because I don't know what that really means because the whole like well which phase we talking about or if you're talking about phase 4 like I think what they mean by Marvel writing as bad is they're talking about like in the middle of dramatic situations there's going to be like they're going to undercut it with comedy and uh and like well no comedy relief in dramatic situations has been in every sort of medium ever. Like if you go back to caveman days and some guy was telling a story like a very dramatic and another caveman is like telling a and then that same caveman tells a joke in order to like like lighten the mood. Like yeah, that's in storytelling, like
Mhm.
that's a basic thing. So it's not Marvel writing to have humor inside of a dramatic story or dramatic scene. And here's the thing: when they do have dramatic scenes where there actually is tension, like I don't know, a life is threatened or a life is taken, they don't undercut it with comedy. They there's a big difference there. Like if there's nothing really going on, you can have dramatic conversations or stuff like that. Like um all right, what was it? Oh yeah, that it's soy. Hey Kevin, do you think this video game is soy? Do you think it's you think it's a leftist thing or something? Like a
Ragnarok? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I just love the fact that, again, because as I mentioned, if you're a God of War fan, you would love this kind of game. I love the fact that again they've stuck with the details they've added in from present or from the past kind of games to the into the current one. So no, I don't feel like they put anything leftist in it. I honestly feel like
mhm,
they've stood straight down the middle. They've loved their fans. They've loved their community.
mhm.
You know,
That
so
shows
I
through
would
the
honestly,
actions of making the game. By the way, I'm not saying like
yeah,
if later down the line they say we didn't do it for the fans, we just did it to be consistent. That still shows a dedication to their craft of storytelling that they don't because like Ragnarok in 2018 sort of like fixes God of War 1, 2 and 3 and how bad their storytelling actually was because those games are silly. They're
well,
over the top. And
it's Greek mythology, so of course it's gonna
yeah,
be over the top with
well,
Greek
it's a Greek
with
tragedy.
yours.
It's a
Yes.
it's a very simple Greek tragedy and there's a lot of goofy elements to those games. But when they take it seriously in Ragnarok in 2018, it actually like oh wow, they actually not only do they respect it, it sort of like acknowledges that these things did happen and they still take it
Yes.
seriously later on. It's such a like oh you can look fondly upon those old games instead of saying like huh those like such silly times or something. Like no, they take it seriously.
Yeah.
It's really
Well,
cool.
and that's the great thing about Santa Monica is that they loved their franchise. They've loved their fan base. So
Mm.
that's been a fantastic thing about them compared to say like Naughty Dog.
Oh no, you didn't understand his vision. That's what they say. They did Now that was the Ryan Johnson game. Okay, so this the soy thing doesn't make sense to me because like, oh no, there's diverse people in it, like people of color, which is I hate that term, but that's what they use. So, and they, I mean, like the people that use that term. Like, and
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, uh, like, I don't want to take up political points, but you have to talk about it because these are things people are saying about the game.
Oh yeah.
Like, I won't mention them because I'm not going to give them the attention that they want. So,
I feel ya. I feel you, man.
so even though I'm small, you know, but so like they'll say it's soy because it's like, well, there's too many women, or women are taking over the roles of men. And I was like, well, if you do it convincingly enough and you have a good story behind it, nobody cares.
Right.
Um, and here's the thing: I know for a fact that a lot of the people at Santa Monica are probably far left. It did, but that doesn't matter. It didn't transfer to the page. It didn't.
Right.
It didn't transfer the making of the game. They, that to me, even though they have probably different views than myself, I don't care because they're making content that people that you need to separate the art from the artist. Like not everything, even though the people may be woke, it doesn't transfer to the game as being woke. So you have to make that distinction, or else you're the same as the people who went to kill dragons when there's no dragons to slay. You're looking out
Right.
trying to start fires because because you want to be a firefighter, you know, that sort of thing. Like you're no
Yeah.
different to them. Stop looking for things. Like when they're not there, you're doing a witch hunt. You know, basically,
Yep.
you have to be
Yep.
careful. This is why you need to view it and all that stuff and look at
Yeah.
opinions,
No.
like all that
Yeah.
other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, anyways, I think I'm ready to get started. Actually, no, we're still not. Actually, we can talk about it as soon as it comes up. So, so I'm going to switch to the God of War and we can get started. All right. Scenes. Daggone it! I already had it interacted with, and now it's doing this. Why have you betrayed me? Uh, okay. So yeah, the first thing we see is Kratos. That's the sand pouch, right? Of Faye that he's holding.
Yes. Her ashes.
Yes, I
Exactly.
got that
Yeah.
as soon as like, oh my gosh. And he's thinking of the look on his face is like wondering, it's like, what was it all for if she knew everything? Like this sort of look of concern about the future. And not only that, when he looks at it, you can tell on his mind he is thinking of, I'm gonna die.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
how do I prepare for death? Well, we know that.
Right.
We know that in the future because what is he doing with the boy? He's making him train. He's making him vigilant. He is preparing his life without him soon. Like, it's really good stuff in this 10 seconds of footage. It's really good. And he's making arrows, in fact, for Atreus, and he is out hunting for deer. Um, and so yeah, and not only that, it's Thermowinter has been lasting for a long time, and it's made it Midgard actually unlivable for most people.
For most people and most animals within
Yep,
Midgard.
yep, and it's the Lake of Nine has frozen over. It's so cold. And he's I didn't know this is how you made arrows, so that's neat. That's a neat detail. And here's the thing: there are so many small details in the expressions and all that stuff. Like it's so when something goes wrong with the animations, it's like, oh, that's noticeable, but most of it is spot on. And there he is, Atreus. He's like 13
Right
or
about 13,
14.
15. So he's somewhere.
Yeah,
He's a young teenager.
he's mid-teens. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got the deer. He's hunting on his own now, which means he has learned to track, hunt. He's a better archer now. What's next? Home. He's Kratos still says very little, and he says the
And
storm's
that's
getting
yeah,
worse.
yeah, exactly. That what has been Kratos since 2018, where he's just a man of very few words.
And here's
Because
where you go out,
again,
and then okay, sorry, um, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying that because of the fact that just because he's a man of few words, that's just gonna be him because of the fact that again
Mm.
Kratos has bared so much over the years
Oh yes,
of from his time of being the God of War to now.
Free.
So he bears so much weight
Mm-hmm.
onto his shoulders.
Yeah, like he's training him. He has to make sure the stave, which is the thing that protects them from being broken, or else people will come in that want to hurt him and Atreus, so they can be left on their own to train. And not only that, if you remember for 2018, you save Freya from being killed by her son Balder against her own wishes, and she doesn't
Right.
like that.
And yeah, and now Freya resents that from
Oh yeah.
because she was their friend, but when she had realized of these mystical arrows or the arrow tips that could potentially break her curse, or not even really her curse, her spell over her
Mm-hmm.
son. Because for anybody, and I'm just putting this out there, Falco, you laugh at me all you want, the man.
Okay,
But for
okay.
anybody who has not played, for anybody who's not played the God of War 2018, Freya cast a spell over her son Boulder to protect him, as she
From
feels,
all harm, magical or
from
physical.
physical. Exactly.
Which is a joke in this game, by the way. It's like a
Yep.
but I mean, he tells a joke about a false prophecy and against a king, and he said like, "Well, you have the power against physical and magical," because he kept repeating that in 2018. But anyways, but the thing is though, it's like but with that well, the reason why she did that is because the Nords, which are the fates of these lands, told her that, well, your son's gonna die a needless death. And so she's like, well, I'm gonna protect him and cast a spell on him, on Boulder, that would keep him safe from any attack that is any harm that is physical or magical. But it came with a great price, which is he can't feel anything. He
Exactly.
can't. It's
Can't
like
feel
he's
warm.
he's like Metallo in Superman animated series. He can't feel anything. He doesn't feel love. He doesn't feel like he doesn't really. I mean, he can't even feel warmth, cold, or anything like that. So, what that does to your mind, it will deteriorate your how you see things, and so it becomes very jaded, and he just wants to feel again, like anything, like
Right.
the. That's why he picks a fight with Kratos in the first game. He just wants to feel something, and he's like, I wish you could have done something to me, but you can't. It's only until the end of the game of 2018 where he tries to punch Atreus, and he punches the Heartthorn um, bush arrows, which makes him vulnerable. And
Right.
she's like,
Broke Freya's spell.
yeah, he breaks
It
Freya's
broke it.
spell. But he's like, oh my gosh, Atreus, you're bleeding. It's like, it's not my blood. And he's like, oh, I can
Right.
feel again.
Right.
He's so
Right. And that's
happy.
the first thing. Yeah, that's the first thing that Boulder says. I can feel the cold.
I can
I can
feel the
feel
cold.
again.
I can feel. And he's like, he's so in like, but still, he still wants to kill his mom, even though he can feel again, because she's the one that did this to him. and he regrets not killing her in the past. So now it's
Yep,
like,
which you
okay, I'm doing
see,
this now.
which you yeah, which you see in Helheim
Mm-hmm.
is because Helheim is kind of a
It tortures the souls there with
yeah,
visions of their worst mistakes inside of their mind.
yep. And
Uh,
Boulder always resented that the fact of his
he
letting his mother live.
let his mother live. How deranged do you have to be? It's like, dang gone, you're just. Mm. And so when she tries to split you guys up because she can't really harm anybody, but she tries to split you up with a giant, but she can't do it. And so after that, after these feud, it's like you have a choice to stop, and he's like, no, I'm not going to stop. And he like tries to kill Freya. He tries to kill Freya and Baldur, I mean, and Kratos is like, no, the cycle must end here. He says that, which is the same thing Zeus says to Kratos at the end of in God of War
Or
2.
two, the end begins exactly. Yep,
Oh,
the
it's
cycle
like,
ends here.
oh, and it's such a good thing. It's like, oh my gosh, he's becoming, and this also goes into Ragnarok. Like he's becoming that same person again. Like he doesn't want to be that person anymore because that's a
Right,
person that led to the deaths of millions of people in retrospection. Like trillions died because of his revenge quest of his losing his
right.
family. And he doesn't want to lose his family again, but he also doesn't want to become the same man again because he's
Same
trying to leave
man,
that
the
life
same
behind.
monster.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. All of that is just in this one like scene. It's like, dang God, it's good. So yeah, this is when Freya is caught you outside of your protection zone, and by the way, they know it's her because this is not the only attack. She
Right,
keeps
she because again
trying.
is yeah, she's hunting them down. She is
Mm-hmm.
literally hunting them down for the revenge of
She, mm-hmm.
the death of a Boulder.
Yeah, and like she is kind of like Kratos was back in the God of War days, you know. So sure, like he's like, hi, he's like, oh no, come on, wolves. So by the way, they have two wolves now, and there she is. She transformed she transformed to a bird. Oh, this is good stuff. The look at her face. Oh my gosh, she hates you.
Oh, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
You could see that at the end of God of War 2018, to where she has
Oh yeah, she goes insane.
nothing, nothing but anger, just pure anger in her heart for everything that has happened. The way
Oh,
she comes at you too.
oh yeah, she actually gets stabs you. It's like, oh, look at this. Look at how it's like. Look, oh my gosh, look at this. It's like, you gotta get off. She tries this so much. She like hates you so much. She wants to see your life drained from your body as she strangles you to death. It's
Yes.
uh everything in this game is very deliberate. Like and then that Atreus doesn't want. So Atreus and Kratos don't really want to hurt her, but Atreus even more. Kratos will defend himself,
Right.
but Atreus is like, don't make me do this, please. Like I
Right. You
really
can
like
hear that
you.
yeah, yeah. You can hear that in Atreus's voice of
It's like,
"Don't
please,
make us do this."
yeah. And she gets distracted, and boom, he's like, get out of my sled.
Yep.
Stick, bam, and here comes a scream. By the way, voice actress who does this, I love this part. Hold on, I'm gonna let it go. Oh, it's so good. It's so freaking good. She screams and creates a shockwave. She is so pissed. And like we're
Oh
almost
yeah.
home.
Right. Right. Exactly. That little opening moment gets your heart pumping
It
immediately. It's
does,
like,
it
oh my
and it
gosh.
presents her as a big threat. It's
Oh
very good.
yes.
It's very good.
Yes. It is
Um,
amazing.
and how like you think she would give up, and it's Atreus is still kind of naive. He's like, oh man, this happens all the time. Like, why can't you just give up by now? It's like, and Kratos is like, she's not going to give up. Um, we killed her son. And it's like that is not forgiven. I think is someone listening to me in the background or something? Where's that coming from?
Mm.
Hold on, let me talk. Okay, it seems that I don't know. So, anyways, uh, yes. Anyways, let's go on. Did I move back? What happened? I didn't go back, did I?
Well, you've got from looking at it, it's again a delay from what I've got. So if you want to pull up, if you can, there, Falco.
Hold on.
Oh,
I'm gonna no, that's not what I wanted to do. No, no. Um.
sometimes it can be a pause the
So
video.
okay,
Sometimes it has it.
okay. Let's okay. Hold on. So they get home, okay, and he's like, huh? Usually what happens. So it's a subversion from the 2018 game because usually Kratos has to tell him what to do, because and he has this sort of like he's not really a dad. He's more like a general in the first one. Whereas now he's definitely talked to him like a son and father. You
Yep,
know, he Kratos has changed for the better, and
greatly.
and so even from these scenes, you can tell he is trying to guide him as a father would. And so he's like, okay, let's do the routine of like getting things ready, securing our home, whatever. And so, hold on, I'm gonna play it for a little while. And so he closes the gates. And what happens? He's like he tells him what to do. And he starts to tell him what to do. And then he's like, "Oh, he's already doing it." Like,
Yep,
and it's like, "Oh, so he knows his role. He knows how to survive. He knows how to hunt."
yep.
And and
And you can
we're
see
about
what's crazy. Yeah, and you can see which is kind of crazy because as far as I remember from previous God of Wars, you never saw Kratos even have a half smile,
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
Okay, so we're
just a small smile
mm-hmm.
that's like,
So what's his response? I'm about to see it right now. Here it comes. Yeah, here it is. Do it. Yes, there it is. I love that. Oh my gosh, he like smiles. He's like, that is a proud dad. Like that is a yes, I did it. Look at him go. I have successfully taught him how to survive. My lessons are working. It's really good stuff.
right. The way that he looks, he doesn't look like just straight. He looks upward, like he's smiling to Faye,
Um,
his wife.
oh,
You know,
I
being
mean that could be it, but like
that's just my thought. Is he's smiling because he's proud of the fact that yes, that he has shown Atreus how to become a young man, how to be
yes,
self-efficient, and
yes,
he's looking to the sky because our son has grown up.
yeah. I I think you're right. Wayne, he's like, look at our son, Faye. I did it. And like that, I'm sure it's the back of his head somewhere. But here's the thing, though. He has some disdain toward Faye in this game. Um, because in the last game, he's like, "Don't you dare talk bad about Faye." Now he's like, even he throws shade at Faye. Like he really does, and it
Oh
and
yeah,
and it's because like he doesn't like people keeping secrets from him, and Faye kept a lot of secrets.
a lot of secrets. Yes, that he didn't even know about.
Hmm. And don't
So
worry, we'll get into that. I think we'll go until uh I don't know how long we're gonna go, but I was gonna say like until they reach the Spartalfheim, but like yeah. But anyways, so I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's right, Fenrir is sick, and they talk about on the way
right,
back. where it's like
Right.
I'm like I hope Fenrir is okay. Like that's their third dog. The two dogs pulling the sled are girls, and they're like he's taking care of them. They saved them from a
Of hunters in a way. Yeah,
of hunters
the
in the wild,
raiders.
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 There you go, raiders.
Yep.
And so the third wolf, he's dying, and
Yep.
Kratos knows, but
Yep.
Atreus has
It,
is naive about
yep.
this.
He's naive. He's because of all the because of the fact that
Optimist.
he raised him from he raised
Hmm.
Fenrir as a pup. So
Oh,
he's
really? Okay.
grown. That's what my guess is, that he's raised them since they were probably young pups. Because
Yeah,
they were to be killed by these raiders
I'm sure.
for
I
what
think
else?
Fenrir would probably be the older one,
Yep,
but
Fenrir is the older.
yeah, and so
That's why he's dying.
mm, he could be dying from old age, or maybe it's an illness. Who knows? But it's definitely his. He's on the death's door. So
Yep.
and and Kratos is like, you need to prepare yourself. So here it
Yep.
comes. Yeah, they're in the house. He's like, oh man, and and sad dog noises.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, Fen can't
oh,
eat
look at
or
that. Yeah,
anything.
yeah. He
Yeah.
doesn't want to eat because he can't handle it.
Yep.
It's so
Yep.
1 out of 10. How does this hit you in the feels?
Honestly, it hits me very well. I know that personally. I know exactly
Me
the feeling of
too.
losing
And
a beloved, a beloved pet.
and not just beloved pet. This is how you have an emotional death and how to get people on your side is you have an animal in your game and you write it to die. Like I'm not saying you should always go for that or anything, but it's like,
Right.
but man, this is
Right,
such
but
a
no, there's.
but it's just an easy way for that to happen. It's like
Mhm.
how do you get a bad guy to hate you? Well, well he's gonna kick a dog. It's like, oh, what an evil guy. It's like, yeah, I know. He kicked a
Right.
dog.
Right, kicked an animal or something like that. Exactly. Yeah.
Or it's like a it's kind of funny because I went through the 2018 game again, and what's one of the first things you fight is not only Draugr but wolves, and I'm like, uh, just like, and now we're saving wolves. So it's a bit of a contrast now. Like Kratos is definitely changing. He's like, we don't want predators in our stave, and but they turn out to be useful.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, because Kratos is very practical, while Atreus is very emotional. I'm sorry.
I'm still here, there, man.
Oh, okay,
Mm.
okay. No, no. I'm just I didn't know if you're trying to say something.
No, 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 no. I mean, if I am going to say anything, it'll be with the scene coming up, because you can hear Atreus saying something to Fenrir. You can see the
Hmm.
emotion on Atreus's face as he knows Fenn's passing, and there's nothing he can do.
Yeah. Not only that. This sets up his he not knowing what he can do.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot what I was going to mention. So they both need each other to complete each other. Whereas
Exactly.
Kratos needs Atreus for the heart element, and Atreus needs Kratos for the more stricter element, like
Yep.
the disciplined part.
Yep.
Where it's like, if Atreus is too naive, then Kratos is too strict.
Mhm.
I mean, he's too not strict, but he's definitely strict. But I mean, em- not emotionless either. Like stout maybe. Like I don't know how to say it, but you know he's very rigid. He's closed off. He's like an island. He doesn't want
Yep.
to let himself out emotionally.
Right. No, he's very
But you
closed.
know
He
what
just.
though? If you're Kratos' friend, he is a bro. Like the one of the best people you could ever call friend. Like
Oh yeah, he's definitely one that if if you have Kratos's back, he will have your back.
it's so
No.
he's such a cool guy. Like well, we'll cover that later by what he says to like Freya, what he says about people, like, mm, so good. And
Yeah.
so like, no, like he's still eating, he wants to live, and I'm like, no, buddy, he doesn't. Kratos is like, he's dying, he is dying, and like,
Yep.
uh, and so, oh, look at that, oh, that face, like really good, really good.
The emotion, yes.
And
Uh,
the motion capture in this game is really good, which is why when,
no.
like I said before, when they do the thing of when it doesn't match right, it looks really awkward. Like because it's such a contrast. Oh man, I don't. I I'm not that emotional at this part though. But I know it's like, oh man. But here comes he says the the spell without him knowing he can use it. And this is the first time you see oh, like you can do things without you knowing it because he has abilities as a god and as a giant. And this is a giant one. And oh yeah, look at that. So as he's saying the spell, look at the wolf's eyes becomes like lit up yellow to pale white. Such a really good detail. Mm, man, they put a lot of hours in this game. You can tell. I mean, a lot of effort,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
shows because they were thinking of what's the cause and effect of this instead of just saying "lol." Next scene doesn't matter. Continuity doesn't matter. And there's okay. So, what come out of him was his soul, in 4 parts.
Mhm.
3 parts go to the light of Elfheim, uh, which is where the souls of the dead go. I believe,
Yep. Yep.
as we learn later.
Yep. To the Lake of Nines, in a way. If I.
Um,
Yeah. Is it the
the
lake?
elf
No, it's
light,
not the lake.
the
Yep.
elf light,
Th-
the
Thank you
lake of
for the
souls.
correction.
Yeah.
The lake. Thank you for the correction.
Yep.
Been a
Uh,
little while since I remember where that's at. But yeah, the
yep.
Lake of Souls.
It's an Elfheim um where and that's where Freyr like took a dip in, and the elves think he's a god. I mean, well, he is a god, but they think he's
Yeah,
like, oh my gosh,
right.
he
Because
survived.
he survived it.
But whatever. So 3 pieces of the soul went to the light of Elfheim, and then or the lake of the souls, and that's also important to another character, but that I'm not mentioning that yet. So there's a whole bunch of characters that have a whole bunch of like who went inside the lake for different reasons. But
Right, and let me kind of interrupt you real quickly there, Falco, because there
no,
are probably gonna be people who don't know who the hell you're talking about with Freyr.
well, that's
Freyr
because
is
I'm not.
the
He
brother.
hasn't been mentioned yet. That's why. Like
You mentioned him, dude. You mentioned him.
it's
You
true.
said Freyr.
Prayer.
So
Yeah. Go on.
Freyr is the brother to Freya. For anybody who doesn't
It's
know,
a it's a bit confusing because they both
the
start with
spelling
F.
is
Yeah. And
the
so it's
way
like
they sound is it sounds almost similar when they say Freya or Freyr. It sounds
Freyr.
very similar.
Yeah, like it's not Frasier. Like come on.
Oh
But
gosh.
so so yeah, he so he's well known in Alfheim. Uh but let's see that so so the 3 souls go to there, and then the one soul goes inside of a stone that Atreus is holding, and that's a giant soul stone that he found somewhere. So, but he didn't know he could do that. And Kratos is like, well, that was confusing. He's like, but he doesn't mention it because he's trying to think how. Okay, so what Kratos is thinking now is like, how can I make my son feel better? And so he's like, well, what makes me feel better? Well, when Kratos feels any sort of pain or when he retreats, he distracts himself, you know, and so he thinks that will work for Atreus. And what's a distraction he wants him to do? Train. And I'm like, Kratos, you're not reading the room. uh, it's like, what the heck? And Atreus right calls him out on it. I hate to say it, but Atreus is right here. Like, but it's Kratos has good intentions. It's like the middle of the
Oh
night.
yeah,
It's we just got back, and it's like, come on, man.
yeah. But as Kratos says,
Mhm.
enemies don't care. An
Enemies
enemy
don't
will
care about
attack
it's night
you.
or not, or whether you're suffering. It's true, but like, but again, Atreus rebuttals. He's like, that's all we do. Like, and Kratos is like, all right, um, and he lets him mourn in his own way.
Yep.
Training's all we ever do, ever. It's like not enough. We can't hide forever, and he is correct. By the way, Atreus is correct. We can't hide forever
Right.
because it's like we do not hide. Like we prepare for a battle. Like we're not ready. It's like oof. Now go. He's like time is like what the heck? No, it's like dude. Oh man, war is coming. Yeah, and he's like, and he's right. Like their both perspectives are both their perspectives are both correct, but I think Atreus is more correct in and about how like we okay we've had enough of doing this. Like we can't just hide out forever,
Yep.
and and we need to find answers so we can prepare ourselves better. And of course, this is also a little bit of a manipulation tactic by Atreus because he has been out. Like he's been sneaking out and doing stuff without his father knowing
Yep.
because he knew he wouldn't approve.
Oh
So it's
yeah, and surprise, surprise, Atreus has not been alone.
oh yeah, he hasn't
He's
been alone.
he's
He's
been
been with his other the only
his
other friend
his
he has.
yep, Sindri.
Yep, exactly. And which Brock doesn't know about that either.
Right.
So, anywho, and so yeah, he is manipulating Kratos hard, but he's still not wrong. To war with, what are those answers to the war with Asgard? Like, good point. Oh, here it is. The first shade at Faye. He's like, we do not know what your mother wanted. It's like, ooh, wow. Um,
Yep.
hmm. He's like, he's not happy about people keeping stuff from him. He's
Yeah.
not happy about it. And you can tell it's like, why didn't she tell me anything? And there's a certain line from Surtur later on that happens where it's like sometimes not telling the person that you love will keep them happier. And I'm like, ooh. And he's like, why would you do that? He's like, you know, and he's like, and Atreus talks of like, why would you keep that from them? It's like, and he's like, you never been in love, have you? It's like, it's like, ooh boy, yeah. So this is again the first juggled theme is is keeping secrets from another person. That's the first theme we are juggling with, and we're going to add others, which is the other ball we're adding to that we're juggling is prophecy, which is like what do we do if we're predestined to do something but we do it anyway, and they both juggle together, and and then we're going to add more, and which is oh yeah well, another ball which is father and son dynamics. Like there's so many themes of like that they juggle all at once, and they do it with such precision. They give it time. They don't just next scene, next scene, next scene. They just they give the time it deserves.
Right.
And here's the thing: you can get more context if you actually go on missions, dialogue, that they spewed out, but depending on who you're with, it's so
Yeah.
much. Like,
It is. It is. Huh.
oh
Oh.
crap. So yeah. Looks like we never will. It's like, ooh, good point. Sorry, I am very loud. I am very excited. This is a
Hey,
this
no,
is this is a good story.
this is a phenomenal story for what they did for
And what does
Ragnarok.
and what when things calm down and the scene. Sorry, I need to take a drink. He's like, "Can I just mourn my own way?" And Kratos is like, "Yeah." I think they realized they both went too far.
Mhm.
And they decided to part ways, like, let's settle things and wait till the morning to discuss it. Kind of attitude.
Yep.
Good. Again, they both matured. Hmm. He's like, okay, we won't train. You're just gonna do it on your own. Like, yeah.
Yep.
And after he nodded and smiled at him, it's like, oh man. Now he's like, ah, crap. Maybe, maybe things aren't that good. And we get to see other people's favorite character, even though he's just a head on a waist.
Mimir.
Yeah, Mimir's great.
Yep. You love those stories, and that's the one thing that has always been great when they
Imagine
added Mimir.
if someone said that one of your favorite, like, imagine if, like, 10 years ago or something like that. It's like, if someone said one of your favorite characters will just be a head on someone's waist, you'd be like, what? That's so weird. How, how is that a good character? Like, man, it's one of those strange things, like if you said like um if you say it out loud, it kind of sounds odd. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like what? That's a real thing? It's like, yeah. Uh, and he's reading a book with a spoon because he has nothing better to do.
Right.
And he's like, I'm gonna learn again. I'm gonna read. And so he's like, I'm just gonna stay at this cottage place and just read with my spoon.
Yeah, at the cabin.
And of course,
I love Mimir.
not only that, so I'm gonna spoil a few things about Mimir. So later on, when you're traveling with him, you can definitely feel the relationship has grown
Oh
because
yes.
whenever he needs counsel, he waits until he can talk to Mimir alone. Like
Yep.
even when you're traveling to later on, like as soon as the scene ends or whatever, it's like, oh, it's like he calls him like by his name. In 2018, what did he call Mimir?
Head.
Head. Yes, he calls him by his
Oh, it's
name now.
just yes, he says Mimir a lot in this. Well, he would
Yes.
constantly talk about just head,
And
head.
head. It's like whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. But
Yep.
that comes up later too, by the way. Because there's a few in jokes in this game. So and so he doesn't call him head anymore. He calls him Mimir. And in fact, he calls him brother. Uh in Spoodlefheim, the dwarf um realm. When you go there, he calls him brother. He calls Mimir brother, like he calls him, because he he likes him that much. They are friends. Like they are true
Yeah, they have
friends,
become. Yeah, they have become great friends. They
and
have become
it's
like very
so
close
good.
friends. Yeah, it
It's
is
it's
amazing.
it's like, oh my gosh, like between time happening, their relationship has so common. and like, and Mimir doesn't want to leave these people because not only did they save them, he understands them and he wants them to change. Like, and he's a peace broker. You know, he was a peacemaker a little bit more. He's the smartest man alive. You know,
Yep.
and all this
Yep.
stuff. But he wants to be here, and it really
Yep.
shows in his attitude.
Oh
So,
yeah.
uh, so let's go. And he tells him about Fenrir. He really does care.
Right.
Like,
Right. Because again, going back to because a little reference back to the 2018 with
mm-hmm,
because it took Lemire a while. He knew kind of who Kratos was, but he didn't
mm-hmm.
know exactly who Kratos was. But
Like,
when he realized, and he says
uh-huh.
it, I'm dangling from the bloody hip of the ghost of Sparta.
Yes,
Quiet.
he does. Quiet. And he's like, well, at first he's like, Zeus. And he's like, what the heck? He's um, and he's like, he says, Athena, you're Greek, a dead giveaway. And all this stuff. He puts the clues together. And then when you're on the realm tree, back to give Atreus a cure, he's like, wait a minute. You know, like the wheels are turning in his head.
Yep.
I mean, the gears, sorry. But
Yep.
he's like, wait a minute, you're the ghost of Sparta. Holy crap, it makes a whole lot of sense now. He's like, okay.
Yep. Which Kratos wanted to keep quiet
Oh
for,
yeah, it's like, don't tell the
you
boy
know,
that. He's
yep.
like, because I don't want his vision of me being you know, the you know, the um as it as a murderer, you
Right.
know. Because uh you know, even before God of War 3, he just killed civilians. Didn't matter.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
He did it for health orbs.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, that's exactly what Kratos did in God of War 1 and 2.
yep, and it didn't matter.
No,
Uh,
I didn't.
in fact, and they, oh man. So, anyways, oh no, not Fenrir. How's the boy taking it? He's like, he goes to bury him by himself. He's like, he has to bury his own dog.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
I,
Hard thing to do.
yeah. By the way, I love how he shuts down one candle. He's like, yeah, whatever. It's just like, he's like, whatever. I'm tired. I fought, and here comes like, what? A hand suddenly appears, and I'm like, so some people are freaked out by the hand when they see it in streams, and I'm like, it's Faye, okay? Like even when the first time I saw it, I'm like, it's Faye.
I kind of figured it was, but I
Yeah,
wasn't 100% positive. But
and I'm like,
I kind of,
do you have a new wife? What's going on?
yeah. And for people who don't know the God of War storyline,
Mm-hmm.
Faye is actually Kratos' second wife.
Yes. Yeah, and that was the one he met in who they took the ashes to the mountain in the 2018. Of course, I assume everybody kind of knows that stuff. I mean, you're.
There are some people, but
I
again, there
know.
are probably people out there that that have probably never played a God of War game ever and
Oh,
don't know
oh
the
true,
storyline.
but yeah. So I'm not going to mention everything, but yeah, I'm going to try to be as detailed as possible. So yeah, here comes, and these face sequences are very important to
They are key. Yes, they are key
to
roles to
Kratos
the story.
and Faye,
Atreus. Yeah.
because Atreus never sees them. It's how Kratos like it always has a contrast to what Kratos is doing or what he thinks he's doing. For example, he says like we shouldn't. I was like we didn't have to worry about it like then, but we have to worry about it now. It's like well, she gives him the power and responsibility speech from like from Uncle Ben, and it's the if you have the power to help, like you should limit the amount of damage it will cause. You know, so it's and that goes against Kratos's thing in 2018, like and how he treated everyone.
Yep.
He's like, it's not our problem, not our problem, not our problem.
Right,
Like,
right, exactly.
mm-hmm. Which actually that makes a lot of sense to what Kratos did because he went because like in the first God of War games, he was tasked with doing things and meddling in everyone else's affairs. And not only that, he made it his problem when he made him kill his family, or I should say Ares, and then
Right.
that led to revenge against the gods. And so he's like, nope. If I just stay to myself, if I don't get in God's businesses, I can just live out my life in peace. Makes complete sense. I'm sorry.
No, I'm agreeing with
Oh,
you.
okay. I
I mean,
sometimes
it
you're
makes
very
sort of
distant.
I don't know, but no, it just makes perfect sense because again, it goes back to where Kratos has dealt with so much,
hmm
so he just figures, you know what? No, I just stay out of people's business; they'll stay out of mine.
Yeah, it's a very Hobbit way of thinking from like the Shire. You keep your nose out of trouble, and trouble won't bother you. No, kind of mentality, but like it's
Yep.
actually a very selfish mentality. And but yeah, and he starts to realize that. You will hunt, I will follow. He goes like they make fun of his grunting, so that's good.
Yes, even Faye does
Oh
later
yeah,
on.
yeah. He's like, it might take your grunting as you know, as approval. Good stuff.
Um,
And
fine, just amazing
predators
again.
kill. And that's the natural order of things. Your words are misguided. Uh, I mean, it is the natural order of things that predators kill and stuff like that. Uh, your words are misguided. Um, I have trouble with that line. I think it's just the way things are, sort of thing. Um, I I don't know why she said it's misguided. Um, uh, so why do you think that? Like she says it's misguided because she sees all the suffering around her and so it tried to help people. So it's like, well, it's a natural order of things. So just let it go. I I I think it's what it means. You know?
A little bit, a little
Yeah,
bit. It very well could be that.
yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like, sorry, I'm not physiological, psychological man. I'm just trying to give that sort of thing. So she tries to help a wolf that was injured, I think, like
Yep.
Atreus does against the Raiders, and and so yeah, I think this is it. Yeah, that was it. Like when you take responsibility. If we have the power to limit the harm it could cause,
Mm.
we should act. Yeah, if you have with great power comes great responsibility. The more power you have, the more responsibility you have to use that power in the right ways. And it's a really good lesson for life. So it's really good. Yeah, solid. Would you go to hide and to do nothing? Yeah, it's like we we are not hiding. Like, so what are we doing then? She's like, okay. But by the way, nice wife, very good. And it's like, oh, you're ran into like one of, and then all of a sudden she disappears from the dream. It's like what? It's like I know it's a dream, and he's like, oh man, I lost my wife. No, it's not again. And then she's like, uh, there's not much time, and put the protection hand on him, which I don't know. Like, I guess that means like, oh, I know what it means. It means you'll always be with me. Um, hang on real quick. I think something's going on.
Mm-mm.
I'll be right back. What? Oh goodness. Sorry, I'm right back.
Oh, okay. Oh, dang it. I was just about to go into some details and you've spoiled it. Dang you, Guardian Falco.
Um. So, anyways, what about? No, no, no. Just go on. Go on.
Well, because I was just going over, like, I was just going to kind of go over a little bit of details because,
Hmm?
you can see
Go ahead.
the handprint that Faye,
Yeah, that's
kind
the
of goes
one.
on,
Yeah.
right, right. And later on in the game, you kind of understand, at least a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
in my interpretation, you kind of get an idea about where Faye marked
That.
a specific tree. She
Yes.
marked a tree, and you see in the beginning of 2018, and then you find out
Mm-hmm.
later of more details of what this is all about.
Oh yeah. So, what I get from it is that what I was about to say it before I was rudely interrupted, but is that there's not only she's not imprinting, she's sort of saying like I will always be with you,
Yep.
and not only that, to guide him. Oh my gosh, my ears are imploding. Ow. Sorry.
You
I'm
okay,
just
man?
no. I don't know. Like I'm not used to wearing headphones, so uh, hold on. I need to. There we go. Okay, the show must go on. So and not only that, like she's definitely wanting to protect them because she put the protection stave on
Right.
him. So, and giants do know have prediction skills. So
Hmm.
when they saw the mural in Jotunheim,
Yep.
so yeah, and he's like, hey, "What's this? What's going on, brother?" And like, so as he wakes up, he thinks he's in danger, calls the axe, and Mimir is like, "Brother, wake up! The heck are you doing?" And by the way, Mimir has no idea what's going on. He's probably turned away from him, and because he can't move his own head,
Right. Mimir is kind of
he's
stationary.
he's ahead,
He's Yep.
and uh, and so like then the reason why he's calling out to him is not because he's having a nightmare, it's because well, as we
Yes.
find out,
Yep. They got an intruder
brother.
in their home.
He checks his forehead. So what happens is that like he wakes him up. He's like, Atreus hasn't come home yet. He's like, he hasn't. Well, we need to go search for him because it's been like it's day now, or at least it looks like day. I don't know. I suppose he might be training. It's like, nah, he wouldn't train. And Kratos is like, I suggested training to mourn, and and Mimir is like, why did you say that?
Hmm.
Throwing shade at him. This is how you tell that their relationship has changed. Mimir in the
Yes.
past would never say something like that.
Yep.
What on earth for? He was grieving. Oh, Kratos. I know you're trying. It's so good because like even the audience is like, the heck is wrong with you, Kratos? Like like self-referential humor, but not in a meta sense. It's really good because
Yep.
this is how Kratos deals with things. He
Yep.
he wants to move on right away. because any lingering means you're weak. Greece. Oh yeah, he said I'm having dreams. He's like of the old days. He's like I mean the bad times in Greece. Like no, I'm having like visions and
Yep.
all that stuff. He's like it was like a fae. It's like yeah, but they're more than dreams. It's like
Right.
she's
Right.
telling you something,
Yep. Yep. She's trying to talk to
trying to
Kratos
tell me
and trying
something
to warn him.
of Ghost and a brother. It's like no, it's not Ghost. It's not Athena. Nope. But it definitely feels something more than a dream. It was yeah,
Yep.
very good stuff. And it's and it has a purpose. It has narrative purpose. It's not just there because we need to see Faye. Like, in fact, as I never showed Faye, you could still do these things. Like, but I don't know why I said that actually. Because it's like,
Uh,
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I would say respectably that's your opinion there, Falco, with not showing Faye, but I kind of, in my opinion, I kind of feel with
We spent the game
without
not
getting
seeing
to
her.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, without seeing her, it you kind of don't you don't kind of get that
Oh,
relationship without.
true. Sorry, I didn't mean to
So
interrupt.
it's no, it's fine. I just kind of wanted to point out a little something like that.
Yeah, I actually agree because without a face, it's kind of hard
Yeah,
to not feel as bad, I guess. But
right.
I mean, and here's the thing: like, I am not suggesting that like you know what fridging is. So it's basically like a you shouldn't kill a character that like that you don't know just to make others feel bad. Like I disagree. It how it affects people you know.
Yep.
Like, and you can see it through their eyes and all that stuff. And then you spend a whole game with that, and now you get to see her. Now it's like, now it clicks because if play the first game again after you play this one, it's like holy crap, like everything you know is like changed.
Hmm.
Like it's so weird how they all connect, and they made sure to connect everything. It's good. Oh, there's the bear who was killed by a bigger bear. Like, how big of a bear could it be?
Yeah, it's a big bear,
Mm-hmm.
a very big
It's a
bear.
big bear. He accused me of hiding from Odin. Oh yeah, I forget that part.
God,
What? What is it?
just that line from the mirror,
What?
just he gives
What?
me honey.
Just gives me honey. What?
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's it.
I don't know.
Uh,
Learn to survive on his own. Yep, that's his. I think now these are more like excuses for Kratos for not looking for answers. He's like, we're training. Like I know they kind of feel like excuses, not to go anywhere. Like in a way, like he might be telling the truth. Like it's kind of like when you really don't want to go into work that day, and you're
yeah,
like, I don't feel well, I guess. And like oh man, like and you can convince yourself of that
mhm,
in like in a way, but like no, that's not a right analogy because it's like um he's definitely he should be training. They should be training about what they're doing. If they're gonna be like then hiding, like, especially after what they did, like killing Balder and his like, Thor's two sons
mhm.
and all that stuff. But like when is enough?
Right,
You know, and that's where Atreus like comes in. It's like I need to know who I am, and like and but he doesn't want his son to go to war. He doesn't want him to become like him,
right,
full
right,
of
exactly.
otherwise accurate predictions. I love that line.
Mm.
Otherwise, accurate predictions. Do you believe in prophecy, Mimir? He's like, not really. He's too skeptical, which makes sense. He's the smartest man alive, so he asks a bunch of questions. Unless he has all the answers, he doesn't really want to believe in it. Uh, so he keeps saying. So he keeps telling me, "Oh yeah, it skips the whole part where you go through the bandit camp."
Mm.
Oh yeah, so combat. Let's talk about combat a little bit. So there's a big criticism against the like, why don't you have your if you've been if you've been training, why haven't you like all your skills back? And there's a in universe sort of, not in universe, but it definitely is um a little bit to that. First, I want to get to the meta argument of that, which is every game or every movie or every book, whatever the media is, it's always someone's first. So if imagine going in and you had every single move from the last game, and I think that'd be overwhelming
Yeah,
for new players.
agreed.
Um,
Agreed, because they're not going to understand much of how these moves work or what kind of
it's called
you know,
it's called feature creep.
right.
And oh, by the way, it's not original. I've stolen this, but the whole, yeah, it's definitely a thing where you definitely want to like have new people be introduced and have the veteran players. What if the veteran players haven't played 2018 in like 2 years?
Right.
Like that's also a point. And another thing, it's like they have new moves actually. Um, where it's like, in fact, some of the old runic attacks are actually just normal things you can do. And like the ice on the ground, that used to be a runic. Like
Yep.
now you can just do it.
Right.
Uh,
Right, exactly.
you can freeze your axe, and that does more frost damage. Uh, the same thing goes for the chains, which you don't get at first because like they want you to get used to the axe again.
Right.
Um,
Right. Which is a good thing. They don't give you the blades of chaos right off
mhm.
the bat. I mean, yes, you see them in a cutscene
Yep.
in the game, but you don't you don't use them right away. It gives you time to kind of build up. So that is another great great tip on the game.
Because they want to make sure that you're up to the axe, and then they give you the blades, and they're like, "All right, now you're gonna get used to the blades, and
Right.
then go nuts, learn everything again."
Right.
And here's the thing though, with training though, you actually can do a little more moves at the beginning than you could in 2018.
Right.
But yeah, it is sort of weird that like if you've been training all that time, and in fact, most of the training has been focused on Atreus, I think, also.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like he's trying to train Atreus, not really himself, because he knows like he's been in enough battles. He's like, nah, I'm fine for the most part. I'm gonna be teaching you. I think that would be more accurate. But Atreus is, man, he can do all kinds of things now.
He's
Uh,
definitely homed in on his skills. Yes. That
um,
is
ooh, I'm getting a headache a little bit. Mm. All right. So yeah, you have this pretty much the same moves. The combat is it looks responsive. I don't know if it's responsive or not. How is the combat? Like, is it just, does it flow well? Does it like,
it. It can, yeah. It really does flow well. So
I should say flow is more like when you press a button, it does the thing.
yeah,
Is there any input lag on?
I don't see it. I honestly don't see it. So
Okay, so when you're in the middle of a move, if you hit a button, does it do the next move right away? Like Uh,
There are now ways that yes, you can cancel out of abilities and all that now with 2018 or in Ragnarok that you couldn't do in 2018. So that is
I
a
know in
nice little thing.
I'm sorry. I know in
No,
2018 you can dodge roll out of it. You can dodge out of actions. Like I don't know if you can do that in this one, but so I'm about to spoil something else. You can play as Atreus. So and
yeah,
the
that was one thing that was rumored in a lot of the details early on
oh
in the game.
really?
It was
I had no idea.
yeah, oh yeah, I did
I've
a lot
kept
of
it.
research.
I kept myself in the dark on purpose. So I'm like,
So I mean, honestly, there was just straight up talk that you were not going to be playing as Kratos. That Ragnarok was going to be fully based on Atreus,
that
100%.
I if someone said that to me, I'm like, you're lying to me. I would never believe that. Um,
I'm glad that they didn't focus it 100% on
no,
Atreus. I
I
love the fact that they
I wouldn't
split
like
it.
that either because Atreus looks responsive as all heck. Because I've seen people play as Atreus multiple times. And it's like it seems like that like it just flows into the next move into the next move like and so naturally. Like it's
Yeah,
just like I've seen one. I've seen all kinds of people like do the whole like they'll focus on the melee and then the range because like his range is way better than his melee.
yes,
But
yes,
still, it's
eh,
really cool. Like
yeah,
and in fact it's a lot faster than Kratos. Um
yeah,
because Kratos is powerful, but he doesn't move that fast, while Atreus is fast,
right,
but he's not strong. Like,
right, right. They balance each other out. While Kratos is, more the strength,
mm-hmm.
they got more the speed
Atreus
and
is
agility.
DPS. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, anyways,
so,
so you're looking for the back to the story. You're looking for the bear, and you get attacked by a bigger bear, and you fight this big bear, and it actually like this bear can actually take on Kratos and is like with him holding not I don't know not holding back but not using his full god powers, but still it's giving him a run for his money a little bit. Like uh and then you have to go into Spartan Rage in order to fight it. He's like enough. And this is what happens at the end of the fight. Oh my gosh, it's
right
Atreus.
where you find it that Atreus has
Mm-hmm.
shape-shifting abilities.
Oh yeah, because if you remember 2018, he's like, can I turn into a bear? He's like, I don't know. Does he say that? Can I turn to a bird or a bear or something? Like, I know he says like, can I turn to an animal?
He does mention that you could, if he could change into an animal.
Yes. He's like, and they're like, maybe. Like,
Yeah.
but yes, he can. He's a shapeshifter.
Yep.
Um, and Kratos is like, holy crap! I almost killed my own son.
Right. Right. Which
Sorry,
scared
I was
this. Yeah.
scares the crap
I
out
was
of
just.
him.
Yeah, it scares the holy crap out of Kratos.
Oh yeah, and then he goes right back into 2018 dad mode.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, for a good reason. For that very same reason, he's like, nah, you're not leaving me again. Sorry.
Mhm.
He's like, oh, and he just thinks it's a dream.
Mhm. Right, because Atreus has no recollection or no memory of
Mm-hmm.
what transaction. Because the last thing that he says that he can remember was
Okay,
burying
yeah,
Fenrir.
being a sad, and then like a bear attacks, and then he remembers having a bear battle, but it's all vague memories.
Mhm.
Yep, I'm not sure.
Yep.
I'm glad. By the way, Oh yeah, I just want to make sure. This is on the channel. I think it's Mahler or Mueller. That's where I got the supercut from. He made it for his stream for in order to cover it, and he put it up, and I'm glad he did because it makes me remember. So thanks to that. Well, give him that proper credit. And then he was angry. So yeah, he transforms when his emotions are out of control.
Yep.
We now know that.
Right. Right. And
I remember.
spoiler warning. I'm gonna add a spoiler warning
Oh my
here, people.
gosh.
Atreus does learn later on in the game how to harness his emotions to
Mm-hmm.
transform a little bit
And
to where he can do them under control.
yeah, and that becomes his Spartan rage,
Hmm.
so to speak. He turns it to a
Yep,
wolf.
his version of Spartan Rage is the shapeshifting.
Mm-hmm. Which is really cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, an amazing detail.
Well, it's not. I don't necessarily call it a detail, but it's just a thing where it's like, where he turns into animals, and it's like, okay, if I can control it, I can become a more ferocious animal.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that part of the details is neat. But he's like, there's no way I could have done that, right? Like he's like that had to be a dream, right? And he's like, and Kratos like, no, it's not.
Yep.
You just
Yep.
did a lot of
Yep.
damage.
Kratos. Yep. Kratos is letting him know, no, no, boy,
Had
this
to be a dream. He's like,
done by your hand.
your emotions, you lost control. They transformed you.
Hmm.
It's like right away. They don't. I love this story for doing this. They don't beat around the bush. Like they say things that they need to say,
Yep.
and when people need to get over things, they get over them. Like there's no extra drama that they don't need.
Mhm.
Like it's really good stuff, and they come to a conclusion in the lot in their own logical way.
Yeah.
Uh, with the character saying them, it's not a meta thing, where it's like if they shouldn't know it, they don't, you
Yeah.
know. And as soon as he figures this out, he did it. He tried to wash his hands of the blood because he knows he did something wrong. He doesn't want to hurt anybody, but he did. And now he's trying to wipe away the blood.
Mhm.
Like this is some good symbolism of him trying to wipe away his mistakes that he did. But he has to live with the consequences of what he done.
Yeah.
But there's more direct symbolism coming up. It's like, no, no, you didn't do anything wrong. You just lost control, and
Right.
you weren't yourself.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, he's in father mode. It's good, but he does return to 2018 mode soon. It's why you don't abandon your training. You see, it's like he goes back right away. He's like, no, no, you need to train more. He's like, and Atreus is like, oh my gosh, this training stuff. You got to be kidding me. Without, yeah, it's why without he's right. Without control, it's like you're just getting more dangerous to be around people. It's like taught me discipline. Have you taught him discipline? I mean, he's like, I'm sorry, but when you're grounded to the dirt about discipline all the time, it has. I think, especially from a parent, it comes off as like preachy, and this is preaching instead of teaching. Like you're telling him what to do instead of treating him like a human being.
Yeah.
I need answers. Like answers don't have. Yeah, yeah. By the way, he's correct. If you know more about yourself by learning, you can actually you could probably get a better handle on your powers, which is how its powers work, by the way. Because if you remember in the 2018 one, him not knowing he was a god made him deathly ill.
Yep.
So the more he knows about himself, the better he is.
Yeah.
So, oh, he twitched shade at his mother again.
Hmm.
Answers she withheld, and look at his face. He just like he's like your mother held those answers. Like, ooh, I kind of hate her right now. Like, ooh, man, like calm down. It's like I'm sorry. What if someone there could help us?
Hmm.
Okay. Who I'm supposed to be? Atreus. Listen to me. He's like, I almost killed you. I almost killed you. Okay.
Right.
Do you think I should put the sound on, but very low? Like I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know, man. I mean, it's I think just kind of going over the details is a little bit easier sometimes than
Without sound?
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I just wondered.
Sometimes, because yeah, no. Sometimes sound is
It's
good, and
just that
sometimes
the performances are so good of these actors that I'm like, I'm doing them somewhat of a disservice. But
if you want to, I mean, if so, I would recommend that you do a watch together, and so this way we can both see things
oh,
on the
right,
same.
yeah, yeah, that's true. I'll just leave it unmuted. By the way, they're great, especially the guy who plays Kratos. A lot of
The
good things
actor
come
who,
from him.
yeah, yeah, and surprisingly, how he was he came from the TV show Stargate SG-1. I forget
Oh,
his
that
name,
guy.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He's the guy with the symbol on his head.
right, right. I forget the actor's name, but just the way that he played Kratos
Yeah,
from 2018 was
the black
spot
guy from
on.
SG-1. He has a symbol on his head. That's all I know him as.
So,
Okay, let's see. I might have killed you. Yeah. But I am going to. In fact, I'm gonna put it on all real quick.
Inaction is also a risk. You taught me that. Stop thinking like a father for a moment and start thinking like a general.
No!
That's really good. That's really good. I'm sorry. I just wanted to put that out there real quick with all the volume, because like
mhm.
you can tell they're very heated with each other right now, just by the tone of voice. It's really good. And and what does he do? He shuts him down with one word, and then he explains. I'm like, such a, it's so good. And it Trace is like, man, I forgot what I was gonna say. All right, next, collect yourself, and then he goes to the, oh yeah, there's the consequences for your actions, Atreus. You killed that bear. It had cubs. Like, this is a direct symbolism for. It doesn't matter your intent. Your actions have consequences. Are And
I'm still
this.
here.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So,
I'm just gonna move
but
on.
yeah, Christopher Judge
Christopher
is
Judge. Oh, yo, you're looking up his
is the
name. Oh, okay.
yep.
Christopher Judge. I will not call you that other thing again. I'm sorry,
So, but no,
but
Christopher did a phenomenal,
he did
phenomenal
phenomenal
job
work.
as
Even though
yeah.
his award show speech was too long. Stop it. It's like, oh, you caught me monologuing. Yeah, two cubs are probably going to starve to death. Thanks,
Yeah.
Atreus. Oh man, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like it's calm down. But so they go back to the house and it's like I forgot what happens when they come back to the house actually. Um because I know they have a long talk about that sort of stuff. And that's all this stuff's not really important, I guess.
Mm,
Like I don't know. I kind of forgot.
mm-hmm.
But so if you know anything about 2018, at the very end, you can go back to your house and rest after all that. And I'm losing my voice. I haven't talked this much in a while. So and uh and so what happens is that Thor comes to your house and in the middle of your nap, while you're sleeping, and but it is said that it was a vision by Atreus, and now it's coming true, and that's what
Yep.
I've heard. So take that with a grain of salt. But and so here it is, the same thing.
Right.
Who
Where you
are
get a visit.
you?
Yep. Yep. And you see Thor reaching for the hammer, but instead, what does he pull out? And he yells, "I have
Of
mead."
mead. Yes, and it's like again, this is subverting expectations a little bit. Oh no! It is. It's subverting expectations. Instead, they're going to have a conversation, a really important one too. Can I come in? I have
Yeah. I love,
mead.
right. I love
Like he's a
this. And
Skyrim character.
yeah, and I do find, and I love the fact that you tell in Kratos' voice that he's on his guard. He's
Oh,
not,
oh yeah,
shut,
definitely.
you know, because he doesn't know what the intentions are. So he's trying to be generous.
He he
You know,
he
not
he doesn't know what Thor. He doesn't know who this guy is. He doesn't know what he wants,
right,
and
right.
so
So
he's
he
like,
just
and he shows up with this power display of lightning and thunder. Oh, I
yeah,
remember. I remember now. Okay, reverse, rewind. I mean, so they go
okay.
back to the place and they're like, and the wolves are kind of scared, and he's like, "Well, you're afraid of little thunder?" And when he says that, I'm like, you know, Thor's coming, right? Because like, it reminds me of Avengers when Loki is inside the transport and he hears the thunder, and Black Widow is like, "What? You're afraid of little thunder?" It's like, I'm afraid what comes after it. It's like, which is Thor.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, if you're paying attention, you know Thor's coming.
Yep.
It's a good detail. So, anyways, yeah. And so, okay, hold on. We'll say it as it happens. You will not find me good company.
Yeah, that's
He's
the
like,
one I was gonna say. It was Kratos is trying to shun him away, saying, "Hey,
no,
I
like
don't want you here at my
exactly.
place."
It's like, go away, please. It's
Right?
like,
It's just go away. I don't want you here. I know. I have a feeling of what your intentions are, and I don't like them.
well, yeah, it's like, especially from this big boy. And oh, I think we have plenty to talk about. Yeah, and he goes like, okay, they've come here. He knows he's a god,
Yep.
and so as soon as he sees a weapon, I bet he knows like, oh crap,
Yeah.
freaking, it's
Kratos
Thor.
knows exactly. Yeah, he knows exactly who it is.
It's like, and so what happens is that like, okay, we're gonna let him in, but when it, so what do you think he's telling Atreus to do?
I think he's telling Atreus, to
Mm-hmm.
keep an eye on him, watch his movements, and be prepared at any time for a possible fight. Because the fight could break out at any given moment with Thor. Because you know that he's coming for us.
Um, yeah, this could be deception, but I think also what he's telling him to do, he's like, okay, I want you to prepare a table and like, so go inside and prepare drinks. And also hide Mimir. Like we don't want him to know that we have him.
Yeah.
And not only that, he probably told Mimir to stay quiet.
Why?
Yeah, so it's
Most
like,
likely that Atreus probably told Mimir to keep silent.
and I'm sure he knows, like, yeah, that stuff too. But it's like, it's still some good stuff here. It's like you don't know what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure all that was said
Yeah.
because he doesn't have his bow with him when he serves drinks. So, like, we don't want to make hostile actions unless they do.
Right.
We don't want to be the aggressor here. They sort of both have a stalemate a little bit. Whispering, whispering, whispering. It's like, okay, I'll do that. He's like,
Right.
they're like, go hide Mimir. It's just like,
Yep.
look how tall this guy is.
Oh yeah.
He's a big.
Thor towers. Yeah, he towers over Kratos.
Let's just say that like some people don't like the design because he's fat, and people trying to
I
compare
heard a
him.
lot about.
Mhm.
I heard a lot of that too, but actually, they wanted to keep it kind of to the Norse mythology of
Mm-hmm.
Thor, where he is overweight,
He's sick.
where he is
Well,
fat.
there's a reason why he's overweight in this game. There's a reason. Sorry, my voice is going. Um, where he's a drunkard and he doesn't do much nowadays, but he's still a god. And here's the thing, though: he may be overweight, but even if this guy exists in real life and hit you, you would probably die
Oh yeah.
because he's holy crap. He looks like one of those like the last the guy in last place in the strongest man competition. But still, holy crap. He's a unit.
Yes, he is. He is a unit in and himself.
And then like the bird flying, I'm like, people when I saw people say this, I mean people see this, I'm like, oh, Odin's here. Because there's because there's a raven.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, I got that too. Nice place. It's like it's like you destroyed my roof. And so what happens? He puts the mead down, and
Right, puts the
then
meat down. Atreus brings some cups.
yep, and then he puts that down while near. He's like, "Look at my weapon," and Kratos is like, "Oh yeah, look at my weapon."
Right.
Also, they're doing it to they're also doing it to make sure that their weapons are on the table. Uh, because like, hey, we're supposed to be peaceful, so here's where the weapon is. You can see it. I'm not using
Right.
it. It's like
Right, keeping it in eye view.
keeping it in eye. Yeah, exactly. There it is. By the way, not only are there details in the faces, but there's also details in the background. Like whenever someone says something, you can see everyone else's reactions to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're more important to their character than you realize.
Oh yeah.
It's really good stuff. Like I just saw the raven in the background. That's what made me think of it. Oh, he pours meat. Man, that's some dark meat. So I bet there's nothing in those glasses, by the way. They didn't bother to render them.
Probably,
Yeah,
probably, yeah. There probably isn't anything.
I'm just passing time right now. So yeah, this is and of course he grabs Kratos' cup. It's like you could have told me before I reached for it, dude.
Mhm.
He's like, okay, dude, get to the point. Like he's like Kratos is like, why are you here? And he's like,
Right.
because that's a good question actually. Because okay, if you're not here to kill us, then and serving meat instead. So why are you here? Just being polite. I'm like, uh, it's like that's not an answer. And then
Right.
so okay, so this is Oven's Raiden. It's either Mugen or Hugin, whatever. And
Okay. This one's Hugin. Yeah.
I don't really know, but I just know the names.
It's yeah. No.
Hugin,
It's
whatever.
yep. It's Hugin.
And so what I'm thinking what's happening is that the Raven can speak to people, and Odin is telling him what to do next.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking is happening here, but I'm not sure about that because suddenly the subject changes. You seem like a calm and reasonable person, and he puts that's interesting. He puts alcohol on the thing. Are you a calm, reasonable person? When a moment calls for calm. Like he puts the emphasis on calm. It's so great. I said the moment calls for calm because he probably told Thor, dude, I'm on my way. Like because they hear a knock at the door. Surprise guest. Who could it be?
Yep.
Oh, I heard a Discord notification.
That's on my end.
I know. It's fine. I can barely hear it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Odin. There he is. Claps.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. The All Father.
so who is do you like so Odin's design? Uh
I found it interesting. I mean, I didn't expect him to be, you know, kind of like as skinny as what he was, but it was like,
oh yeah, cuz people were expecting the ones from like the Marvel movies, you know?
yeah, no,
Like
that was
no.
not my that was not my expectation when they were talking about Odin. I was thinking that he was going to be huge. Honestly, I thought he was going to be about maybe, you know, I thought he was going to
Um
be like something like Zeus a little bit.
oh yeah, I think people have the Zeus vibes. Like I didn't think they were going for Zeus because a lot of the Norse things they have in here are mostly reduced.
Yeah,
Like the to be more real. Not grandiose, you know.
right.
I should say less
Right.
grandiose. So Odin fits that bill. It's just that no one expected this.
Yeah.
But I like his design. I like the robes and the way he has them on and all that stuff.
Oh
It's
yeah.
very cool. Um, I definitely like. I know Odin. He's not strong. Odin is not strong.
No, he's not meant to be like, you know,
Strength build character. He's definitely like
no, he's knowledge.
he's knowledge, and therefore he's a spellcaster type.
Yep.
So yeah, but he's also because he's smart. He's also a manipulator.
Yes.
So and he comes off like a mafia boss.
Hmm.
Like I'm gonna strong arm you without even touching you.
Right.
It's like it's like I'm gonna sell you some oops insurance, you know. And if if you don't do what we want you to do, then like oh your store could blow up. Oops. Like kind of like that.
Right.
You know.
Right.
That's how
Right.
he comes off.
Yeah, he kind of has that mafia boss mentality,
But he
which I
definitely
totally agree.
but with that oh, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with you
Hmm.
that he gives you more of that mob boss mentality to where he can definitely do a lot more than what you think he can.
Oh yeah, and like he doesn't really because like head on is not his thing. He has Thor for that.
Right.
Like what else? Um Oh yeah. We get to all that stuff about Odin later on, so it's like you can his motivations and all that stuff. And he summons the ravens, meaning like, yeah, he's Odin. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It even says it right here. Like, you know who I am? I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're Odin-san. Some things, right? Misunderstandings, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Regrettable ones. Like, oh man. It's like I say, like he talks very fast when he does.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a lot of like, hey, you know, again, that's why I get the whole like mafia boss thing, where it's like he has this way of setting out a thing that makes you think he's being nice. But
Yeah.
the way he says it and the consequences of the actions make it so it's a threat. Like, and also so yeah, let's go on. She did to his boys. Oh man, he treats Thor so horribly,
Yeah, he
and
does.
this is a first instance of it. Self defense. He killed himself, which is kind of true, but like you said that in front of their father. You, my gosh, what a horrible thing to say. And they were kind of useless. I'm like, oh man, it's like you insulted his Thor's sons.
Right.
Oh my gosh, they were useless. So who cares? Because it says Odin only cares about you if you're useful to him.
Right. Right, exactly. If you have a purpose, Odin will use you for a purpose. But if he doesn't see any purpose in you,
It's
then what's the point?
you're kind of nothing. Yeah, like I don't really
Yeah,
care if you live or die.
yeah,
It's like,
exactly. It's like
oh,
you're just there. You're pointless.
mm-hmm. He says kind of pointless. So yeah, they could have been served to do other things, but it's like no, they decided to do their own thing. Okay. Sorry. And not only that, he steals both cups of mead. He drinks them both because it's a power play. It's like, yeah, I'm doing the deals here. Okay.
Right.
It's such man. Everything he does has this like really cruel intention.
Mhm.
But Boulder had value. You see, that's why he was useful.
Right.
He was the best tracker. My closer.
Mm-hmm.
But still, from Odin's point of view, he's doing this all in good faith.
Yeah.
Like it's oof. Oh man, I really need to go get some water, but I don't know if I can leave. But it's fine. Of course, Odin had us all planned out before he came in. Like, uh, and you'll see that later on. He's like, okay, what do you want?
Mhm.
He's like, hold on, let me drink first from your cup. How about peace? And that's kind of unexpected, right?
Yeah.
The esteemed God of War. Why don't we just don't kill each other, huh?
Mhm.
It's really good stuff. Sorry, I keep putting the pause screen like that. I know it's distracting. Oh, that one starts looking for Tyr. Okay, spoilers.
Mhm.
He wants him to look for Tyr, which is why he tells him not to.
Yeah.
Because if Odin tells him straight up that stop looking for Tyr, that means that he's worried about him looking for Tyr. That plants
Yeah.
the idea of his head. that he should be looking for Tyr
Right.
because Odin said not to. And then with a threat of Thor makes it more believable.
Mhm.
You know, and look at the look Kratos gives him. He's like, "The heck you been doing?" I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know I've been up to. Stop it. Oh my gosh, Thor! It's like, whoa, okay, dude, don't tear my head off, okay? Like, makes it more believable. Mm. His old ways are dead. He is dead. Like, these actors are good. I'm in sweeten a
Yeah.
deal. I even let you keep the stolen head. You know, my stolen
I
prisoner.
know that's right.
Well, Mimir has no more use, so. A word out of you. I love it. My old partner in crime. He's lost weight. If he tells you that snow is white, he's lying. It's really good. What kind of wisdom is that? Smartest man past himself, huh? It's really good stuff. All right. Here's one you know I can trust. Okay. We need to talk about something because I believe we mentioned this. So Kratos doesn't want to kill Freya because she saved his son's life
Right.
and then saved her life from his son's. So that means he's very important to Kratos, and Atreus also likes Freya. So Odin in good faith says, "I'll let you keep your prisoner. We won't kill each other." And to sweeten the deal, he says this: "I'll even settle the debt with my ex." Kratos doesn't like that. Because what does that mean, settle the debt?
Right.
That means probably kill. Putting out a hit on Freya.
Right. Right. Exactly. I mean, especially because again, Freya's trapped in Midgard, so it's not like she can really hide anywhere. So it would just be a matter of finding her eventually.
Hmm. All right. So, and he thinks upon this. He Freya off your back. And he's like, also, why in the world? Why in the world would you? Okay, so Kratos has had two different viewpoints about Odin. One is from Mimir, telling him all the horrible things he's done and how many deals he's broken. Two, from Freya, about how he's kept her in the realm, stolen her will to live, and kept her from being the queen of the Valkyries, stolen her wings. I mean, chop them off or whatever. Like, use her, pretty much.
Right.
And why in the world would Kratos, from this 2 point of Kratos, ever trust Odin with any sort of deal? So he's very biased. And then the cherry on top is that he mentions keeping your boy safe. Kratos don't like it when you mention Atreus in deals.
Right.
He gets upset about that.
Oh, he gets very upset. He goes straight to
Spartan rage.
Right. His guard level goes from like a 1 straight to a 10. It's like
11.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like oh man. You don't like it. He did it with Boulder. When Boulder is like at the very beginning of the game of 2018. Boulder is like, okay, if you don't want to talk, that's fine. I'll go inside that house and ask the person living in there. So he goes Spartan mode and and takes him to another spot. the fight. It's
Yeah.
like when you and he so yeah, so it's happening again. Like a little bit. He's like, I'll keep your boy safe. Isn't that all you want? It's like, yeah, it is all he wants. But you said it in a way that's not good for me. And Kratos doesn't elaborate anything. He just says no. And that's it.
Yeah.
And so from a good faith point of view, Odin is like, "Oh, okay. Well, I tried. Thor, don't take all day."
Right.
He's now sending his attack dog on Kratos.
Right. His strong man, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his muscle.
His muscle, yes. About time. And he snaps. Boom! Hits Kratos.
Right. He just throws the hammer right in Kratos'
I-
face without any time of reaction.
Okay. I love it that he snaps it. Instead of calling it to him or whatever, or just holding on his hand, he goes snap. And it comes to him.
Right.
And it does have a mind of its own a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because it fights the Ingrid later on its own. So the sword.
Mm.
And you can see it in the background. But yeah, and so like, we're not from here. That reminded me of a joke of Futurama. The guy who was when Bender is into pro wrestling and he fights the foreigner. He's like, I'm not from here. I have my own customs. Look at my crazy passport. You know. But whatever. Yeah, and this is what it reminds me of. Like, you're not from here. We got a tradition called a blood payment, which is like, I'm going to take out my blood on you for them.
Right.
Because Thor actually cared about his sons, but I don't know how much, though. But yeah, he definitely cared.
Oh yeah.
And so all this is a play, by the way. It's to show the intent of the Aesir gods.
Yeah.
And Thor is just like, he probably told Thor, okay, you need to push him to be this other, like, the person he used to be, but don't kill him.
Right. To bring out the monster that is
Yes.
buried deep within. Bring that monster back out.
We can control him if he's a monster.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, so it's
Yeah,
very
and one thing
4D chess Odin is playing. Yeah.
yeah, and one thing I want to add to there, Falco, is as soon as you see when Thor snatches up the hammer, you're already immediately in the back of your mind being like, hey, it's go time.
Oh yeah, exactly. Not only that, Kratos reaches for the axe as soon as he snaps, but it's too late. Boom! It's through the head. It's like, oh crap, we're about to have a boss battle like Baldur, aren't we? And yes, it is kind of like that one, except better. It's more extreme.
Oh my gosh, it is the fight. Your first encounter with Thor does not disappoint.
No,
The
it
fight
does not.
disappoint.
It's a thrill ride. That's what I'm thinking about. Like, this
Yeah.
game may have a good story, but it equals that with good combat.
Yes, it does.
Oh my gosh, excellent. And not only that, Thor says a lot of things about you to get you to push your buttons.
Right.
Some of the things he says about you, it's like how are you a god of war? I can't believe you killed the Valkyrie queen, And I can't.
Right.
Oh, this is the god of war who took down all Panther because he hurt his feelings. Like, oh my gosh, what a burn! Gee whiz! But Kratos keeps his cool until
Oh yeah.
the very end. But we'll get to that. I guess so, like you can't take me on without an axe, coward. It's like, look, all these things. He just keeps saying these things about you. It's
Right.
like, I can't believe my
And
son's lost to this. Like,
right.
just pushes buttons
Yeah,
as many as he can.
he's trying to
Oh, that was
heal
so freaking
Clark.
cool. Oh man, when you call your axe, you hit him in the stomach, and he's like, "Oh,
Or
finally,
how
we
he
got to
just
fight."
right, how Thor just takes it and it's like nothing to him. It's
Oh, he's like, he's not worried. And then, and then when he decides that he needs to get serious, he he snaps and he blocks the axe with his hammer mid transition. It's
all
so cool.
that
Like,
scene, yeah, where the Thor and the axe or the hammer and the axe meet like that. That is
no, no,
a
just the block when he first uses it.
yeah.
Like, okay, and it suddenly the hammer blocks for him, and then he decides, okay, now it's hammer on axe combat now. So it's like, oh no, he knocks him into it or whatever, and he's like, oh, the spin, oh, it's so good. Sorry, Tyr, you self-important old stiff. And then you hit him with a pillar, bam, and it barely does anything.
Oh, I know, because it gives just an
Oh,
idea of
and if
just.
you miss with it, he's like, "Where are you trying to hit me, you idiot?"
I know.
And then when you try to hit him in the back with the pillar, he says like, "Clever, but clever won't defeat me." And then he does the same thing to you, where it's like the hammer goes past you, and you go to rush at him, and you get hit in the back of the head with the hammer. He calls you a dumbass. Like, like, oh, such good dialogue mixed with
Oh yeah, but
with with
the
with
dialogue and the
with
combat.
with gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, what did you think about the fake death?
Oh, that threw me off. That completely threw me off. But I found it to be a good touch. It's like,
A
oh
lot of people
crap.
did, but like some people have their problems with it that it's too meta.
No,
And
I loved it. Honestly,
oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
I'm just saying
I
it's like I kind of agree it's too meta. Where it's like it reaches across the screen, it says it's not a game over. It can be very immersion breaking. I'm just saying. But hey, you know what? It's a good touch. I agree.
yeah.
But I'm just saying like that's why people would have a problem with it. Like, yeah, that's a legitimate problem if your immersion goes out the window, you know? So, but immersion is very subjective. So, anyways, and you mess with it, and he's like, "Nice try." Your son struck first. Good. And he's like, "Oh wow." He's not even denying that the Suns were crappy people.
Mhm.
It's like, did you did they put my butt? Here it is. Here it is right here. He goes back, hits him in the head. Dumbass. And then he shocks you back. It's really good. Like all these things are happening at once.
Yeah.
Uh, no matter how hard you press, you will always die here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was watching the original Mahler stream I watched. He was playing it on wasn't like No Mercy. So he got like the game over after this. I said, "Oh, I guess that one's real." It's like so. Oh no! I say when we're done.
Right.
Brings back to life like like a
He
defibrillator.
brings you back to life. It's like,
Yeah,
oh hell.
he's like, "Give me."
What?
He wants to see the monster, man. Plus,
Uh-huh.
Odin told him not to.
Right.
Like he's still useful.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, there's something we haven't talked about. Music in this game is so. How would you judge the music?
It really sends the thrill of the game through
Mm-hmm.
you because you get that emotion when it's the sadness. You get that thrill of when you're in the beginning again, like when Freya's hunting you down, and then the combat you
Oh
have
yeah,
with
her
Thor.
her theme in different notes. Yes.
Yeah,
Da, 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 da. Like I know that theme. That's Freya.
yeah, right,
And
right. But just because again, when you're in the combat with Thor, it's like, okay, yeah, you know you're in for a fight when it
I think
ranks up with
I think this is
Thor.
the music section. Oh. Oh, that's good. The music is fantastic. 10 out of 10. Like good music. I'm sorry it's loud. But man, it's you got to hear those epic horns and those like it's a freaking Dark Souls boss music. Like it's so freaking good. And not only that, the music can actually like they do a meta thing with the music later on, actually. So I can't wait to get to that part. So yeah, this is just a combat where you can see his so in order to get the footage, I believe Modder played this on the story mode. Because he just wanted those cutscenes, you know? And but still, it's good. And you put and it's kind of funny how Boulder and Thor put you up in the air. And they just all that stuff. Bam! Here it is. Here it is. Clash. Oh, I love this. Oh, this is magical.
Yeah, the clash between the
Oh,
axe and the hammer.
yes. This is a lot different than the first one. Now it's going to create this lightning bolt, a frozen lightning bolt. And of course, like, he's like, oh, by the way, your son died because of the wounds you gave him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the heck you just say to me? He's like, yeah, like he died because of wounds you gave. Oh, we have a model father here. Like, wow. Yeah, he sought us out because he feared you. Like, it's kind of your fault. And he's like, oh, we have a model father here. It's like, oh, man. And then, boom. And so the reason why, okay, so this feels familiar. So the first time you heard that, what do you think Thor meant by that?
When he's talking about
The the
uh,
ice lightning bolt. He's like, huh, seems familiar. And Kratos is like, what?
that's to Kratos, he has no idea, but to
Of course.
Thor, yes,
He doesn't
'cause
remember because he was drunk.
he he was drunk off his rear end as
Mhm.
always, and because this was not his first fight. If you when you
With
find
the
out
axe.
later,
Yeah.
right,
Because Faye fought Thor.
right, she had an encounter with Thor as well, and that
Mhm.
leads up to a hidden area in the game called the crater.
Yep. And it's a of course you can see the frozen lightning in the distance, but in Vanaheim is where they fought. And yeah, see, I've never played the game, but I seem to know a lot about it. I wonder how I did that. You know how many streams I watched? How many hours I've watched of God of War content?
Yeah, dude, I have played hours on hours of content for the game. So
I'm just saying, it's like because you never played it doesn't mean you can't. Uh, like by the way, I'm going more of the story elements really, and first Thor's fight seems it's I don't know, it's like it seems rather complicated, like for a fight that's early in the game, but I think that's on purpose. It looks like.
yeah,
Well, I mean, it is on purpose. I know they
Yeah.
created the game. What I mean is like they want you to say like fighting bad guys is not always going to be simple. Like
right.
this
No,
this is what you have looking forward to.
right. No, they don't even want you to get the idea that fighting anything is not going to be just a simple, easy task. It's
Mhm.
going to be a challenge.
Mm-hmm. It's like welcome to God of War. This is it. It's like
Yep.
yeah, sort of introduction to it. And so yeah, so no one knew what that meant at the time. Some of them thought it was like, oh, is there time travel? You know, it's like could be. You know, in fact, there is a
Yeah.
little bit of time travel in this game, but
Oh yeah.
we'll leave that for later. As you can see, he always ices up the axe a lot. Oh no! Oh, he misses the yeah, he misses the QTEs when you're grabbed. So, whoops. Modder, why do you suck? No, it's kidding. He doesn't. Uh, he d- he definitely played on the hardcore difficulty. So yeah, if you just stay near him, you can just actually just hit him with the axe a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he cracks your shield. And I didn't know this, but that's actually like not only is the axe phase, so is the shield. I did not know that, and and it gets broken here because of Thor's hammer. Which, by the way, that's pretty impressive. That he can hold off Thor's axe. I mean Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, he's like okay. He starts giving him props now. He's like, okay, I can see why my son's lost to you, but guess what? I'm better than them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like even this lesser version of you. Like Kratos, why'd you let him? It's kind of funny. It's like, okay, now you try to get him off because he mentions Atreus. He's like, oh, when All Father's like done with him, he's probably doing something unspeakable to him. Like, who knows? Like, and so he's like, he hears that, he gets in rage mode and he punches him so hard he loosens his teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, what a punch! It's like you don't mention the boy. Oh, look at his face. He's like, oh, you MFer. That's the guy I want to see. Man, Odin is really smart in this game, and this plan makes sense. I guess the blood pigment's full, and he just leaves. How did you feel about him just leaving all of a sudden? He's like, what the, huh? It's like, that's kind of what it felt to me. Like, wait, I thought you were here to kill me. Wait, what's going on?
No, I think Thor was just it was a means of testing Kratos to see.
Yeah, that seems what it is. Like even Kratos says in his lore book, he's like he just loves to fight. You know, that's his impression. Because that's all he talked about. He's like, I just want to fight the strongest guy. Like, we are destroyers, we can't change. You know, sort of thing. Okay. But him leaving all of a sudden is like, wait a minute, weren't you gonna kill me? Like,
Right.
it's like, that's strange, but it's all part of Odin's plan. In fact, when Thor actually got him out of him, he's like, well, I need to leave now. It's like, I need to leave because this could end bad. It's like, also, like, don't tempt fate. He's that smart. I think he's that smart to do that. And here's where your two favorite dwarves show up. Sindri and Brock. Oh my gosh. And they're in their winter clothes. He's like, oh my gosh, Kratos. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I knew
Yep.
I could do it. You know.
Yep.
They're like,
Yep.
so
Brock and Sindri explained that they created the axe.
oh yeah, and we
as a
created Thor's hammer too. It's
countermeasure.
like you keep mentioning it. It's like you know, yeah, of course. Like they created the axe to actually go against Thor's hammer.
Right.
So that's why it made the frozen lightning, because it's like, yeah, it's because these powers are equal. Oh man, so I think I might I don't know when I'm gonna get back to this, but I may call it there. I don't know.
Okay.
I was gonna go to Muspelheim when we enter the Dwarven land, but man, it takes a long time to do this.
Oh, for
But-
Spartalheim.
Yeah. Spartalheim when you first enter that place, because there's a lot of things in that too that
Yeah.
about how like Mimir wants to is
Yeah, you
hated
get a
there.
little.
He's hated
Yeah,
there.
you get. Oh yeah,
Uh,
and you find out why. You
yeah.
get
Even Kratos
some
is like,
background.
dude, what the heck were you thinking? It's like,
Right.
but anyways, but still, I think I might end it there. Um, well, I'll be working on videos after this one. This is just a placeholder, I guess, and I plan to do this
Okay.
again. This is really good stuff, and I want to praise
Yeah.
something good for a change. Like, and this is the closest thing to it, because you could do probably hours just on Thor's character alone in this, and he's not even close to a side character. Like, he's just a guy. Like, there's so many characters in this thing that have so much time dedicated to them, and they're not on screen that much.
Yeah.
Like, anywho, so I will see you guys later.